You know, I can't wait when you guys have a new mayor.
I can wait.
Oh,
I don't want to have to. Like, we've had you for so long. I know how you think. I know how you work, and
yeah,
we kind of think along the same wavelengths most of the time.
yeah.
Oh, the sun's gone. Now I can't do the cool standing. That's what this room always makes me want to do, is just stand here and try to look ominous in the sunlight beaming through the windows.
Yep.
But now the sun's set. Now it just loses all of its
Oh
effect.
no, it's coming back. Wait, what time is it? Oh, it did. It just
8 o'clock.
Yeah,
it's nighttime.
Can stand over here by the trophy. You know, the easiest solution to anything our government, anything based on our government, is to utilize the United States as like a baseline, because it's hundreds of years of, like, you know, legislative and executive like evolution. Well, minus the last 15 years.
I was about to say, you sure you really want to use that as a
minus the last 15?
Right now, considering
well,
considering
no, I would
actually
I would. You know, actually use the reference a lot today. You know, certain things are happening, like, you know, Trump is filing all these executive orders, right? But simultaneously, some of those executive orders are actually getting blocked as there's lawsuits being pushed by different states, and it's being looked into by the justice system. But simultaneously, I don't know if you heard this, but Turner's
ow,
sorry, you had a massive spider on your neck there. Ow,
fucking head, man, Jesus.
Simultaneously, I was watching a lot. Oh, actually, these last 2 days, it's very interesting. There is so much happening right now that I don't think anyone can actually keep up with it unless they watch every single hearing. Like,
yeah, that's impossible because they're all happening at the same time.
They are literally happening at the same time. And it's hard to make sense of it all. Like, for example, the new deputy attorney general is the active lawyer for Trump. So that makes things very interesting. And then there's, like, simultaneously a lot of people that were a part of U.S. aid that were actively investigating Elon Musk were duly fired. And there weren't just U.S. aid workers, but there were actually inspector generals.
Jesus.
So, yeah.
I try to avoid idolizing the Western world in our operations because of one very key thing that's very different from our community and our culture as a whole. And it's not one that a lot of people expect me to say, because everybody expects me to go, 90% of people in this town are criminals. No, it's actually a very simple key problem. No one here has a 9-to-5 job. Everything we base off of is, almost everything we run on is under the assumption that everyone in town here has a 9-to-5 job that they go to regularly. I mean, you look at the police department. Everything they do, everything assumes is that you all work a regular schedule, and not everyone does that. And so
fair.
You have people who work and operate in some things only 4 hours a week. You know, some people who work and operate in their jobs 120 hours a week. And it creates a pretty big disparity between different parts of our community and our cultures.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You're talking about, like, where funding is coming in and not coming in, that type of shit?
It affects everything. It affects funding. It affects the job, like policing in general, the jobs. Like the whole DAP system. I always had a huge problem with the DAP system in its current implementation, because the DAPs expire after 30 days or whatever, right? And if you get 10 of them, then you're fired, kind of thing, or suspended. Well, for the cop who only works 4 hours a week, say every cop has a baseline. Every cop, the average cop, makes one DAP-worthy offense in about 120 hours of work, which is not unreasonable, because you think about it, like if we were all doing 9-to-5 jobs, having an issue every 120 hours, that's once every 3 weeks. But in comparison to this community, every 120 hours, the same cop who only works 4 hours a week may only get one DAP every 3 months compared
It's
to
funny you
another
say
officer
that.
who gets ones a week. And it's like, on the scale of how bad they are, like general how much work they do compared to how much of that work is bad, they're the same.
You know, it's
But-
almost like you was a chief of police that had a base that had a scaling system based on hours worked. Because someone who comes in and does something, it comes in one day and does something wild is significantly worse than someone who's around 12 hours a day and occasionally does some small shit and might get fired as a consequence of overworking.
Yeah, exactly. And we punish people. We punish people on the same grading scale. And so a lot of these part-timers who come in and work 4 hours a week are idolized because, oh man, they're the key cops. Every time they're on duty, they never cause problems. And when they do, it happens so rare that nobody bats an eye on it. But then you have the cops, like even like Bobby. I know this is not exactly the best solution, the best representative here, but that guy works a lot. And he fucks up, General. But when in comparison to the overall grand scheme of things, he's a little bit worse than some, but he works a lot, and so it skews his numbers really badly.
Yeah.
I've always been more preferential
I'm in
towards,
agreement.
fines. Like, police officers should be fined because that's a unilateral. If you work 4 hours a week, you make so much money. Every 120 hours you work, you make an issue. Well, then as long as you don't beat the standard, then no one person gets unfairly fined more than another.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm on a slightly, well, I think in terms of like penal charges and shit like that, I'm not necessarily like disagree with that. I mean, the same can be said with monetary related stuff, right? If there are crews that work literally around the clock, $100,000 fine is nothing.
Yeah.
But then a crew that is not, anyways, I don't want to get too much into that. I meant more like in regards to some other things that we've been dealing with. I want to kick off with a couple things. I don't know shit about this plague stuff. I was somewhat approached by Turner. I said I'd have a chat with you guys. I did get a text from Princess in regards to it, but I wanted to talk to you directly so that I wasn't engaging in a conversation that I should not be with Princess, because I don't know where things begin and end, and what the level of
forces document in your hands. All right, so this is the first classified document. Obviously, you remember the new classified documents, possession of classified documents law. We're trying to give a workaround because right now, technically, it's not legal, period. But your name is listed exclusively at the second page as you are an authorized possessor of this document.
Okay.
This contains information about the 3 biological events that we've had recently. The first one, the pink something, or pink goo, whatever it was, pathogen pink.
Oh, these are 3 separate.
Yeah, they're 3 separate ones. So pathogen pink was something that came about from a group affiliated with like Zebra and those people. They were injecting people with reportedly a virus, and they had a whole research book and everything like that. We had to get the feds involved, and we sent that off to a federal testing lab, and it returned back that it's just dirty water. So that one's been kind of like, we had prepared this before we got the official results back.
Now it's starting to make more sense.
The next one is the plague. This is the one that hit us in the CMC and has everyone freaked out right now. The symptoms are pretty much flu-like, and leading to coughing up blood because it's something to do with the way that it interacts with your lungs and destroys your lungs.
Okay.
Supposedly it's not contagious from victims, but it's spreadable by another means. Even the head of CMC isn't really, or the head of the SEMA director wasn't really 100% sure because they were still testing things.
I was told this morning that by Turner that, and obviously him and I discussed it since we're listed on here, that it's apparently dormant. Now, Like it was spreading, but it's not anymore. Like the the spreadiness of it stopped, and that's what was relayed to him. So,
well, I'll tell you, there was an individual involved in this who was found. He had his eyeballs carved out. He had like moon runes carved into his body, all over his body.
moon runes.
Moon runes.
So like shapes of moons
and stuff. I don't know, like symbols of some kind. I haven't got to see the symbols yet because this is day shift bullshit. This guy's name was Dr. Kegel. I think it was Dr. Kegel.
Okay.
I might be butchering that name. So Dr. Kegel is involved with the last page, the neurotoxin. So we've been dealing with this organization, the Faceless. I think we briefed you on that one briefly. This Faceless organization that was terrorizing people and kidnapped the judge and all that. Dr. Kegel gave us a warning about.
Wait, is Kegel the neurotoxin or is Kegel the plague?
He's both now.
Okay. And that's different from this Isaac Smith guy.
Yeah, the Isaac Smith is the one relating to the plague.
Okay.
So out of the information that's in here, the neurotoxin is the more sensitive of the bunch.
Right.
So Dr. Kegel reached out to us, leaving us a VHS tape, warning us about a neurotoxin being developed by the Faceless, and that was his way of trying to establish control over the entire state without warfare, basically. And then, of course, after he submitted that this week, or after he submitted that warning, which was last week, he showed up with this plague thing with his eyeballs carved out and runes carved in his chest and everything, which has given us a connection between the Faceless and Dr. Isaac now, because it's the same people involved. We had Brandon Valentino involved. He was one of the main people infected with the plague. Brandon Valentino has also been directly affiliated with this Faceless operation. And that whole crew. So there are direct links between the two, but the neurotoxin, as far as we're aware, is not the plague. It is two separate biological weapons.
Okay.
So obviously you're allowed to share the information from within this document. We prefer if you didn't share or you kept close to the chest the neurotoxin stuff. You have been briefed on it, and your authorization in that document is that you can share the information within. Just try not to give people the document. The document is yours to possess, but obviously possession of it could lead to violations for other people, and that is a felony offense. So we don't want any nonsense going on.
Okay.
But this is classified document number 1 is our first attempt at trying to open up dialogue so that we can share information openly between the states. Because obviously, what's the PD's biggest concern every time they're like, we should loop in the mayors. Why? They're just going to tell all their criminal friends. I was like, okay. So this was my attempt at relieving that and trying to open up dialogue between the group, because we should be working more closer together. We should be. It's fucking stupid that we don't.
Yeah, the police are not in existence for their own existence.
Yeah, that's one
that
of those.
That would be a weird
one of those long-term cultural establishments that you're seeing with.
We protect everyone against ourselves, type shit, like.
Well, we focus for some reason. It's long-term cultural established mentality that we have that you see with the DOJ, right? DOJ going, we need to protect the town. We need to administer. We are the administrators of this town because we are the ones that are keeping things straight. We are the counterbalance to the criminal 90%.
No, they're not.
And
Lord have mercy. I want you to put a gun in my mouth and pull the trigger if I ever hear that from a justice. They should literally be instantly fired.
And that's the same thing with the police too. The police do the same thing. Well, 90% of the world out there are criminals, and
tell me you're just making that up, and no one actually said that.
Well, I mean, nobody actually specifically says that, but that's the mentality. That's the general scope. Whenever you try to ask them, like, why don't you share information more openly with like the mayors and the heads of these states? It's like, well, we have to protect our information. It's OPSEC. Why are you OPSECing this? This is something that
why is the DOJ
the
OPSECing any? Look, you know what my problem
the PD.
is?
I'm saying the PD.
Oh, the PD. Thank God. Okay,
yeah, the PD.
The DOJ. I wanted to like.
No, this is the PD's mentality. The PD's mentality on why they don't share anything is because
sorry, I got to take this real quick. This is very hypersensitive. Hey,
sorry, I'm bothering you. I know you're busy, man.
No, you're good.
We're gonna transfer it. Well, I had spoke with the staff, with the chiefs. We'll see how it goes. They say it's gonna take a couple days.
I'm gonna transfer it the moment I get the.
No, I know, but I just want to tell you, like, we're gonna transfer it probably within 1 or 2 hours, and when I do it, I'll just tell you. So,
all right, easy. And then tell me, I need to send it to that person's state account, and then they can.
Yeah, the owner.
Can you?
Yeah.
Can you send me their state ID?
So I will, when they're in prison right now and they get out, we'll do it everything at the same time. So it's all Gucci.
Beautiful.
And the only thing I need to tell you, that person will tell you too, 21st is when you expire. So when you become the new owner, you have like the option to buy it before others can claim it. Get it? That's
so
what you
next week?
Next week. The expire doesn't matter. What matters is that once that happens, you need to like note it down on a calendar so people don't yoink it because you have like 6 hour like pre-hand or whatever, you know, before others can.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
I'll give you a call in like an hour or two. If you're not around, we'll do it later. No
Easy.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Good.
All right. Yep. Just working on getting that county food place. Yeah. It's gonna be good.
Please.
I'm already thinking like I want 3 different shift managers for like the different shifts and give them like carte blanche. You know what I mean? To like recruit as needed.
Just make it fucking simple.
100%.
They go crazy and they make like 15 different main entrees. Which one are you looking to acquire?
I will tell you afterwards, just so it's like I'm gonna make an announcement and everything. You know what I mean? So.
Oh come on! I know a lot about the food booths.
You'll see.
Is it the taco place? Because we'll be rolling good if we have the taco place.
You'll see. Yeah.
Because they have churros, and that's an exclusive. I don't know if you know the churros are exclusive to the taco place. They have a very unique situation in the taco booth.
No.
Everyone else can make
I'm willing to actually
food.
purchase up all of them. I just passed legislation that lets me reappropriate using county money. So I'm looking to reappropriate and resell based on some more reasonable shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's the so like every food booth you can create the managers can create their own recipes, right? And you can make some of them can make mains. Like the sandwich shop can't have any sides; it only has mains available.
Yeah, but sides are useless.
Yeah, they just fill you up for cheaper. It's basically high quality stuff with significantly less ingredients. That's the point, right?
Oh,
they just fill you up.
Gotcha.
In comparison to a main, it has to have all 6 ingredients in order to be a 100% full quality to make you fill up. But then the benefit is that you get extra health benefits from them. Sides.
Give me just 1 second real quick before I forget.
Howdy, Nino.
Hey, just a tidbit that I got. Trevette had nothing to do with the situation. Apparently, his situation was completely different. He came in to serve a citation, but it was a incident involving a number of other unknown officers, one of which may or may not have had white hair, that was suggesting they serve warrants while people come to visit Frankie. So who that was, I don't know, but in case Trevette's...
So no one actually tried to push a warrant. It was just a conversation, is what you're saying?
That's I don't know. That aspect, I don't know. Okay. I think the 2 incidents sort of got mixed together. It sounds like Trevette came in to issue a citation while simultaneously there was officers waiting outside to serve warrants. So.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Did Speedy reach out to you?
Oh, I've already had a meeting with him, yes.
Beautiful. I'm going to try to send someone other... I would talk to Marlo Stanfield as well.
Okay, I'll reach out to him. I have a couple more meetings here lined up, and I'll reach out to him.
All right, easy. All right, brother. Talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna educate you. I'm gonna share this info.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Intel spill. Food booths.
Buy the taco spot.
Every food booth has assigned to it basically 5 ingredients. You have 4 growable ingredients and 1 pickled ingredient. Then you have flour. Every single food booth uses flour. All right. So that's 6 total pieces. A main uses all 6 pieces. Flour, 4 growables, 1 pickle. To get 100%, all of them must be 100%. When you eat them, you get certain health benefits. When you check your health, the J Health phone on your phone, that's when you get the special health benefits from them. Like, because I eat literally nothing but the food booth place, I have 100% more stamina than the average person and 55% more strength than the average person.
What?
Yeah. So I don't carry a taser. I don't carry a baton. I can run and tackle and capture most criminals. I don't have to use a taser because I can catch them on foot. I run fucking fast.
Wait, but like, so I learned about this like very recently, right? Because no one advertises that, which is strange. If I'm going to be honest with you,
the current food booth owner don't even know that's a thing.
The problem is that,
yeah, you know about your J Health phone.
Whether you're, listen, I think. Listen, I'm gonna say some shit. All right, I think we have too many grinders that run the show, like all in every branch of everything.
And they look at the bare bones and don't actually look into what's
members
going on.
of the DOJ, members of police department, members of the government, members of like every small. That's like, that's the issue.
Everybody just grinds, man.
I
they
remember,
don't actually look in depth
like
at shit.
what's actually happening. How do I make value out of this? You know what I mean? Because when I first learned this, I was like, how would no one know this? Like, you know, you buy a food booth, right? You would think your first thought is to like investigate this like neat thing that you've got and then push the value, right? But when is the last time anyone knew about any of this?
No one ever knows about this shit. I still find people like who have been around town for a whole year and don't know about this.
No one does. Yeah.
What is your
I'm zero on everything.
Like, what do you have? So you probably starve a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you starve, if you don't eat, you rapidly lose health benefits. If you pass out from starvation, every time you pass out, you'll lose about 25% across the whole board. And it takes one meal is 1%. Yeah, one meal is 1%. To give you an idea of how long that takes to build up.
What? Wait, and is every meal give you 1% of everything?
Almost every meal. The taco shop doesn't give you anything. But that's because the taco shop has its own benefits.
Oh, but what is its benefits?
It's cheap as fuck, and you make a buttload of money off of it. So to break it down, right? You have the 6 ingredients. Every food booth has an option for you can produce a main, a side, and a drink. Drink doesn't really do anything except for at the smoothie shop and the coffee shop. They have their own unique benefits.
Oh my God! What?
So
the uniqueness being that it fills your thirst, right?
There is one more unique aspect to it. I'll get to that.
Okay.
All right. So the mains, you have the 6 ingredients, and that's your main. When you choose a side, it's 2 ingredients, 1 grown ingredient, or it's 3 ingredients: a flour, 1 grown ingredient, 1 pickled ingredient. So in order to get 100% on those, you have to have 100% on just 3 ingredients. So it's cheaper investment, and it just fills you up, but you don't get any health benefits from it. Then you have the drinks, which are just your regular soda machine drinks, right? That no benefit to those. It's just it costs $2 per drink for the restaurant, and most of them sell it at $50. So it's $48 per profit per one, right? The sandwich shop does not have any sides. You can only make mains out of it. But the trade-off for that one is they don't use pickled ingredients. They don't use purchased ingredients. They use a pickled ingredient, but some of them require you to go to the grocery store or the grocery store on Forum, and you have to buy certain ingredients off that. And so it was a little bit of a weird trade-off because at the beginning, the sandwich shop was the only one who could make 100% mains. Now, certain food booths like the sandwich shop, you feel a little bit stronger after eating there. Big Dog Noodles, a little bit stronger. The kebab shop, you feel like you can run faster. The sushi shop, you feel like you can swim, you can hold your breath longer. The taco shop, you don't get any health benefits from eating at the taco shop, but they have a unique item. The churro. Every main, every side, every drink can be, you can have a custom recipe and make it look however you want as the restaurant owner, right? The taco shop has that with mains and sides and drinks, but they also have churros. The churros you can't custom make. You can't make your own custom ingredient for churros. Churros are churros. That's how they are. But in order to make churros, the only thing you need is flour. You don't need anything else. So one bag of flour can make 12 churros. So the actual cost to produce is significantly less. You're talking like, I think the current, I don't, I'm way out of the loop on what the current value of flour is, but it was like $200 a bag. So you were able to make like 12 churros for right around like $8 each, and they were selling them for $50. And people were like, "Whoa, shit! This $50 each. I'm only paying. You guys are the cheapest ones out there because all the other mains are, $350 each." And so people that needed to eat cheap and just survive, who didn't know about the health benefits regardless, were like, "Yeah, this is great." And the taco shop can make boatloads of money off of it.
But no one is opening the taco shop ever.
Yeah, it's because it's just being held. But nobody. That's the thing. Is like so many people don't know about all these things, right? So then you also have we have Gruber Eats. If you go to Mirror Park, you can
what
sign
about
in
the
to
hot dog
Gruber
place?
Eats.
You didn't mention that one.
The hot dog place just makes you feel, if you eat there, it makes you feel stronger, I believe. It's either stronger. No, I think it makes you run longer. You have more stamina.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
I mean, they all have unique ones except for the.
Well, how do they have all unique? I only feel strength, stamina,
not unique.
Swimming.
Not unique. Like there are two of them will have strength. Two of them have stamina. One of them has breath. And
strength is what, like how much shit you can have in your back before feeling tired?
Well, so you can carry. You always have. Everyone here has a max carry limit of 150 on their person in their pockets, and then 250 in their backpack. 250 kilograms in their backpack. But you walk slower if you're really, really heavy. I don't know if you know this. Like if you're carrying 400 kilograms of shit, you slow to a crawl because you're carrying 400 kilograms of shit. Unless you're stronger, then you can run fat. Like I run light to begin with. When I'm on duty, I only carry about 60 kilograms of stuff. But because I've eaten and kept my strength up decently, I only have about 55% more strength than the average person. As long as I don't reach more than 55% of my capacity of my total carry weight, I can run as if I'm not carrying anything. So I run fast as shit. But that's why I also I carry, or I keep like 200 empty cups in my locker at work. So when I'm doing interrogations, I just grab a fuck ton of cups because they're heavy as shit. And so I can be ominous and walk into an interrogation room really, really slowly.
This is blowing my mind. I'm around a lot. And to hear that this information's even, like, that's crazy to me.
Yep. Now we go a step further, and this is what I know, and I'm going to loop you in on this one just so you know how this shit works.
Okay.
And because nobody does this shit anymore. Food booths have an option to allow citizens to run deliveries for locals. Like, locals can start making orders, right?
That I know about, yep.
So the locals come in, the local brings an order, or sends an order in. The delivery person goes there and they go, okay, the local wants this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And they'll be like, oh, I want this, one of this main, two of this main, three of this main, one of this main, two of each of these drinks. And they make them, right?
Yeah. Sorry, 1 second. This is, Hey, how you doing?
Yo, Nino, you still around? I was just checking.
Yes, I want to pick your brain on prices and whatnot.
Sure.
Okay.
Just say when. I'll be around for another hour, right?
Beautiful. How's courts going?
Terrible, to be honest. Terrible.
Understood. I mean, there wasn't really too much lead up, so it's understandable, but it is what it is.
it is what it is. You know, Big Dog Noodles was there, Winsong was there, Seth, I think, popped in. Like, all the workers are there, the skeletons there, and like, you know, people didn't have fun, right? The workers didn't have fun, but they went because I'm paying them 3 times pay, and they understand the you know, the assignment.
Just not a lot of stalls this time, I take it.
Yeah, not a lot of stalls. We don't have to talk about it, but it's the same as always. Listen, we get some construction done, it'll be alive. Until then,
I agree. It's gonna be hard. You're gonna.
Trenches.
I agree. I'm hoping that happens soon. My hope is that through there we can start manufacturing jump boots, car engines, you name it. You know what I mean?
I will say this: as long as Jason, Frank, and all the workers that make up that place don't give up, the minute that it's ready, I think it's a good place to see who's really.
Can
down
you
for it,
talk
like,
to Jason? Just make sure she understands that sometimes shit happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll give her a call. I did speak to her briefly there. She's a bit upset with Carmine, and I told her that I tried to speak to Carmine, but you know, me and him obviously don't have like a working relationship like that.
Understood.
But I told her just to speak to you, and I'll give her a call and just chat about, like, you know, it is what it is. We just can't give up, and the minute that it's ready, we'll be ready to run.
Beautiful.
Yeah. All right. Just give me a buzz when you're ready.
All right. We'll do.
Bye.
Okay.
No good. People can do deliveries, blah blah. It's annoying because a lot of food booth owners don't like to do it because the locals order from literally everything on your menu, and so food booth owners get overwhelmed because the locals want it to be made on demand. The delivery person pays for it.
You can't, like, it can't be something that like that is pre-made.
I mean, it can be pre-made, but it comes from anything on their menu. So some food booth owners like to do things where they make like one of their mains. They custom make a main that's just a combo, so that they can just add the combo. Put one combo on the order, but it counts as a main, and so the locals can order that. If that makes sense. They don't intend for it to be an actual item. It's just something for their register to make life easier. But the locals will order that combo, and instead of being like actually putting together 2 sandwiches, they have to put together a combo with that thing. And
I don't see why that's a problem, though.
Because you don't readily make those. When somebody so a food booth owner goes, I'm gonna make a new main, and that main is named combo. But whenever I sell combo, I'm making 2 sandwiches and a drink and a side, right?
Yeah.
The combo itself is a main that they're just using to make life easier at the register. So you don't pre-make those because you were not pre-making the combo bag.
Why not just pre-make 5 of them? And
because locals will just not everyone does deliveries all the time, and locals will just make it. It just makes it's extra work for you.
I guess I'll see in person. Yeah.
With the
so this is why it's better to have a smaller menu set.
Yes, because if you want to do deliveries, then you can basically pre-make. If you just make one main, one side, one drink, that's it.
You know what I'm gonna do? Every week, whoever my enemy is gonna be the thing. It's gonna be the, fuck Carmine.
I'll tell you, don't even make a custom drink because there's already 4 drinks that come.
Like pre-made.
Yeah. But with the smoothie shop and the coffee shop, locals only ever order one thing from them. So delivery people love doing deliveries for those. The people who work those booths love working those booths to do deliveries. They just make that one item in mass, and then the delivery people come and get those from them. And so the food booth, the people who are doing the deliveries, they have to pay for it at the booth. But when they make the delivery successful, the local pays them back for that entree and then gives them a tip and maybe shuffles some money around for them. So the booth owners like doing that. Like the drink owners like doing that because all those delivery people will go straight to them, and they're making money regardless. The locals are paying them directly,
right?
And the locals paying the delivery guy, so everybody wins.
What the fuck?
But
I want to circle back to a couple things in revolving in the plague. So number one, there's a SEMA camp that I was made aware opened up on Zancudo.
Yeah, I heard,
that goes against that goes against our legislation.
What? God damn it!
And
they signed it as because it's state law now.
Yeah, but it literally, but
I don't
either
have any detail,
now that it's state law, me and Mumbles have to sign off on it.
What do you mean?
Me, or Mumbles signs off in our counties. If there is a state of emergency, SEMA camps cannot exist unless you have an active state of emergency.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I haven't looked at that legislation too much because I've been shift 3 in it. Hold on. Let me pull it up on my phone. I'm going to have to read the small text on my phone.
Yep. I'll read it to you.
I'm refusing to clock on duty today.
You're good. I will read it. This law shall empower the mayors of Los Santos and Blaine County and law enforcement, which, by the way, they miswrote it. Because the intent is... Fuck, hold on.
Is it miswritten? Because it's the same one you signed back in, like, September.
It is, but it's... The original said, this law shall empower the mayor of Los Santos and law enforcement to designate and set up. So the idea is that law enforcement in conjunction with the mayor, it needs to be like, both are signing off to designate and set up SEMA camp locations to provide secure shelter and medical care during a state of emergency. Number one.
What does SEMA stand for? Is that even listed in this? Like, did they literally only use the abbreviation, the entire legislation?
I wrote this.
Says what it's for.
It used to. Oh, they changed the title. Wait. Oh my god, bro.
Like, it doesn't actually say what SEMA stands for the entire time.
I think it did. Hold on. Oh, I think you're right. I think it's like instead of FEMA, instead of federal, it's county.
Here from your
original. I think C is for county. I think C is for county. It's like FEMA, but SEMA. But regardless, the point here is number one, it's tagged as San Andreas Medical Authority, where they're number one and not a signatory. Number two, this should be written. The law empowers the mayor of Los Santos and Blaine County, with the addition of their respective law enforcement agency to designate. Right. So, this seems to infer that any one of these entities can set up a SEMA camp, which is outside the scope of what the intent here is. But ignoring all that, there is no state of emergency, from what I understand. Is that correct?
This doesn't require a state of emergency, even in yours.
What do you mean?
It just says in the event of an emergency.
During a declared...
Not during a... It doesn't say during a declaration of a state of emergency, does it?
And medical care during a declared state of emergency.
Hey, where am I reading this? Where are you having that at? I'm looking.
Designate and set up a SEMA camp location to provide secure shelter and medical care during a declared medical emergency to anyone in assistance until the state of emergency is lifted.
Okay, no, I see it in the details section. That's what I was asking. Okay, details section, details. Yeah, you're not wrong. God, I'm just trying to avoid making a declaration of a state of emergency. You know how many times I've been asked to make a state of emergency declaration? I'm resisting. I'm not doing it because so this is the first thing that actually is like the SEMA Act is the first one that can actually be used. But if we declare a state of emergency, you're basically putting citizens' rights on the back burner.
No, it depends.
I mean, it opens the door.
Technically, state of emergencies have not been defined. I tried to recommend that 2 weeks ago. I also think the state of emergency should be a conjunction of all legislative authorities based on majority vote with very easy to do. Reason is, well, for a number of reasons, because we're saying, are we good with temporarily seizing people's rights? But the thing is, that's over the assertion that the state of emergency is the equivalent to that in the Western worlds, right?
I get it.
And
now,
how is that different from martial law, right?
Yeah, it's
because keep in mind a state of emergency. I'll give you an example. My home state has a state of emergency sometimes during weather conditions.
But Nino, it also comes down to the argument earlier. We're not all running a 9-to-5 job.
No.
Available 24/7. Like as a heads of state, we're not available to just be phoned up 24/7 and be like, "Hey, we have an emergency that's kicking off right now. We need to declare a state of emergency." Not everyone available. Whenever you say like it should be a collective group of everybody.
No.
Unfortunately,
I think you might be. I'm not prescribing something as deep as you might be thinking. I think it should be. You send out a thing. Myself or my deputy can sign off on it, right? You only need like a 2 of 4 vote or something. You know what I mean? Or a 3 of 4. You know, there's different ways we can chop this up. Because, and the reason I say that is, with all due respect, me and Mumble's staff are around more than, other parties as well, right? What if there's a fucking nuclear? Yep. It's like, what if there's like a fucking potential nuclear holocaust, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing is like things tend to escalate very rapidly in Shift 2. And sometimes those decisions need to be made pretty rapidly. And if there's not enough people that just happen to not be awake that day, trying to scramble and send emails and, well, sorry that the mayor of Blaine County is out to dinner with his wife right now, and he's not going to answer that email. I'm maybe
let's ignore the how it gets set.
Watching porn, that's not going to get.
The more important point is that a state of emergency is currently undefined. Right? Yeah. That was my main point. But so
there's somewhere where it like just vaguely gives the authority of the state to basically be looser on people's rights.
Yes, that is in the judicial powers.
And that's where I was like, no. Because people when that whole CMC thing was happening with the plague, they were like, Barret, you need to declare a state of emergency. I was like, why? What is the benefit to declaring a state of emergency? Like, well, we can better control this. I was like, you can control this just fine. I've been here for 10 minutes and I've already regained control because you guys are running around with chickens with your heads cut off and not thinking. You're just panicking and reacting to everything. And like, what benefit is it?
Wait, where is state of emergency
right now? And they're like, we will have more authority. You have all the authority you need. There's no authority you need right now.
I think you just get it.
What authority do you want?
I'm in agreement with you. This all comes back to, I think people are using a page out of the book from 10 years ago instead of thinking about how to solve solutions with what our system is today. Because I'm generally in agreement. Now, I want to make a point here. Is that the reason I bring up the SEMA camp thing is me not to rain on y'all's parade, or because it's being run by a marshal I just met this morning, from what I understand. I have no. Oh, wait, did you not?
Wait, what?
There's a new marshal that set up the SEMA camp up at.
Oh yeah, no, okay, no. I got warned. I got told about the SEMA camp at the thing. Sorry, I totally blanked on what you said.
My main point here was, how did this happen? It's one line of text. Does our legislation really matter when no one's reading it? You get what I'm saying? Like,
well, you're not wrong there.
Like, the first step should be not, oh my God, I read the title, let's do some cool shit. I love to support that. It should be, yo, let's go change this so we can preemptively have these camps. Because by having those camps, it already draws into question why we have not been putting out any public announcements revolving around this, right? Do you like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have a bunch of fucking medical tents. That's not going to cause problems, like, and panic. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it will. It can cause problems.
All right, so please do bring it up.
No,
if we need to change the legislation, I'm down with that, right? But you know, I don't know. I'm like losing my mind.
I don't know. People escalate. Everybody always wants to escalate because, especially like feeling like you're operating day to day with your hands tied, and then that moment they start seeing a glimmer of being able to let the chains off. Let's go fucking wild. Let's deploy tanks and sniper rifles and bazookas and jetpacks and 3 Air One helicopters.
Storm the hospital to do warrants.
Detaining everybody. Yeah, we're going to detain everyone without cause because you coughed. Your draws firearm. You coughed. Put your hands up.
Yeah.
Lay face down. And people get excited about the notion of that, which is kind of terrifying. And it relies on people like us to kind of rein them in and keep them held back from just wanting to go fucking loose.
Wait, so how much do you know about the Lighthouse?
More than I want to know, and enough that I have requested multiple times to deploy all 4 tanks on that place and level it to the ground.
Okay. Do you know that CJ seemingly is being forced to trespass people? Otherwise, people are going to get reckless endangerment for being there?
Was my understanding it wasn't forced, is that they were wanting, they reached out and asked, how can we resolve this? Because I don't want this problem occurring on my property. Which CJ reached out to the law enforcement and the justices and the Blaine County Mayor's office about people constantly going onto their property. And they were like, well, this is one avenue you can take. If you trespass them, then we can handle it.
Can I bring CJ over here? I think you might be getting
I have to depart in like the next 20 minutes.
Okay.
Which is one of the reasons I'm not signing on duty.
Let's bring Charlie here. I think it's important we get the truth.
She loves me.
Charlie, can you come to the town hall? I got Barret here. I want you to tell him what you told me.
Yeah. I'm on the way.
Okay. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Bye. I love telephone.
Me too. Charlie may not be that excited to see.
She didn't. It's fine. I know.
I mean, it's okay. I just, tore apart her life, and I knew more about her and everyone in her group than pretty much anybody for a while.
You're talking about like the raid down at, like, from way back when?
Oh, it was much more than that. Yeah, it started with the Abattoir 4 raid and ended up with 36 phone subpoenas that were 30 days long, bank subpoenas. I had all of their stuff, and it was...
Did I say town hall? Oh,
it was spicy. But yeah, that's the whole let's declare a state of emergency. It freaks me out because that's literally just... I'm
not advocating we do it.
Rights.
I want to be clear.
No.
I'm not advocating we do it. I'm just saying, how the fuck was a SEMA camp approved when there wasn't a state emergency? There's one fucking line in the legislation. Like, I already have like justices that can't fucking read. And
Although,
if
to
they're
be
not able
fair-
to read one line, it's kind of like,
To be fair, it is just a medical quarantine, like emergency backup site, and it is on state property, not county property.
having general,
Territory.
sure, but listen,
It's not like we're forcing people to go there, are we?
I think that's why we're having this conversation, because I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I
And
just got a picture of it. So.
because that's the intent of it, right? And I don't want to be the guy raining on the parade. It's just like, there's a reason for SEMA is FEMA, right? You need a state of emergency to force people into. That's why you need the state of emergency. You can't force people to the medical tents unless, if it's pre-set up, sure. The other and the other big thing here, right? If people say they are SEMA camps, someone reads the legislation, they could be like, wait, we're in a state of emergency and no one told us? Fuck the cops.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with you though. If they're just medical tents, is it just in case? Perfectly fine.
Yeah, because that's what it looks like from the picture I got. It looks like just a bunch of medical tents popped up at Zancudo.
Yeah. And all the class 2s on the street are just props,
Oh, Jesus Christ,
until they're shot, until someone fires from it.
Don't even get me started on that shit, Nino. I will rant.
What? You told me that these are just
hour.
medical tents. I'm just saying those are just plastic super soakers. You know what I mean? Until they hurt somebody.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, like AKs, right? One could argue that they could very much be vintage. AK-47s aren't even like that shit is from the 70s. Do you know about this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh.
All right. Keys.
The Kalashnikov is like probably one of the most interesting gun platforms. The Kalashnikov is probably one of the most interesting gun platforms. Like there's what was it? I think the latest ones are the 102s, 103s, and 104s. And then there's the US variants, and then there's the Eastern Europe variants.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I'm not super knowledgeable on that aspect of them.
Anytime you get an opportunity, look up a documentary on the Kalashnikov family. Not the family, but the family of weapons.
Yeah.
But
right.
yeah, it gets it can seem confusing when you see the amount of variants of Kalashnikovs, but like when you see them play out, it gets pretty interesting. A lot of it has to do with NATO rounds versus non-NATO rounds. But
hello, CJ.
Hey.
Hey.
Good to see you again.
Nice to see you again.
Given that there might be some confusion going around what was asked of you at the Lighthouse, et cetera, I wanted to have Barret hear it from you. Because it sounds like that. Well, go ahead, tell me the whole trespassing thing and people getting charged and stuff like that. So what's going on?
Right. Okay. So I believe it was yesterday. I got a call asking if I would give permission to trespass for the police to trespass anybody going onto the property. Now, do I think it's a good idea people go on that property? No, not really. However, I also do not want it to be seen as I am keeping people off that property because I am scared of the repercussions from that for many different reasons.
Mm-hmm. Because people are nut job, cultists and shit.
I mean, yes, but also the thing they are worried about itself there, I don't want to have any tension with the squatters there, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I said no. I said I'm not going to give permission for that. If that would just be bad for me.
So you bought the Lighthouse house.
Mm.
Does
The
your
lighthouse...
property include the Lighthouse?
Yes, yeah, it does. That being said, keys, no. I mainly just would like the property to be vacant, I guess, for the time being, until whatever crazy shit is happening stops happening. I think with it in the wrong hands, it could be detrimental. I think that was the right move in the first place, to say no to trespassing everybody that went there. And then I was told later, okay, well, if things continue to spiral in the way they're spiraling, then it may be out of your hands and it will just be shut down and nobody will be able to go on that property, which, to be honest, I don't care about, because then it is not me making that decision and no repercussions fall on me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then, actually, that may have been 2 days ago. And then yesterday, I got another call once again asking if I would give permission to trespass people. That shit was reaching a boiling point, and that people were getting sick, and they believed it to be coming from that specific area. Now,
well, I don't know why.
Yes.
That's a whole fucking can of worms of, there are rats at the Lighthouse. Oh, no shit, Sherlock, go down to the sewers. Go into Los Santos.
Exactly.
There's rats fucking everywhere, you dumbass.
I do believe it stems more from the sewers than that place itself. I think going there, you put yourself at a risk of getting sick for sure, but it's not the catalyst to the entire thing. You know, it's not the end all be all. If you set foot on that property, you are going to get sick and you're going to get everybody else sick. No, I think that's ridiculous.
Obviously you're not sick. Right?
Exactly, right? Now, I then heard that there was a blockade set up. But by the time I actually went down to see what was going on, it had been lifted, and it seemed to be more people there than before. So I don't know how that actually helped anything. And then I did check in today, and there was a few people down there, some officers. Had a quick chat with them, and they told me that while they're not blockading it, they will be doing a checkpoint for anybody going in and out, taking note of who it is, and issuing a warning. And that if people do end up getting sick, they will attempt to press charges of reckless endangerment, which is, to me, absurd.
Let me start by saying... So this is an important reason I wanted to bring CJ in, because if it is, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Barret, is it being relayed to you that CJ's the one that asked for this?
So I was told by the Blaine County Mayor's office that CJ had reached out to the Blaine County Mayor's office asking for guidance on how to deal with the people that are out there and the problems. And that the Blaine County Mayor's office reached out to the police department and was like, well, we can't help you unless you give us a reason to help you. And that's like, in order for us to help you, you have to trespass them. And that gives us a reason to remove people from your property. That was the general story that I
Yeah, that's quite opposite, actually, as to what actually happened. I, no offense, don't believe that the situation that's being dealt with is I'm just not going to turn to the police for help.
Right.
Ever.
Considering who you work with and everything, I'm not surprised.
Well, I want to, let's be fair here. If the police law enforcement don't exactly have, I mean, look at, you're going to learn about a shit show that happened earlier today at the hospital, but police can't be there at every moment, right? So
no.
If there's something, we cannot expect citizens to put their life in danger to help the police, knowing that if they do so, they can get, farmed, right? Like CJ's going to be in the hospital 24/7, right?
The police department has no right to tell you what to do with your property. Your property, you have every right to make the decisions you want on your property. And that's if police can do anything on your property or not. Now, obviously, if police see something actively occurring on your property, they can enact on it. But as far as like telling you have to trespass somebody, they literally can't demand what you do with your property.
I feel like that's
you
coercion.
make the ultimate decision on it.
I believe that they tiptoed around it quite a bit, actually. I think they really were like, listen, if you're saying that we can't trespass people, we won't trespass people. But if it reaches a state of emergency, then we will take over and shut the place down. Who's
saying this? Who's saying this?
Who said that to you?
I believe it was the Blaine County Mayor's office that expressed that. But I think that may have been from... I would assume that's coming from the police that were up there. And I don't know who the police were exactly. I know McNulty's up there quite a bit. And I've also heard that there's some marshals that are very interested in the area and investigating it.
Okay, now I'm like really confused.
So I'll tell you directly, because you've only acquired the Lighthouse recently, right?
Yes.
I will tell you directly, and this is going to be, oh my God, Barrett's leaking things. It's my fucking investigation that I had started up, and well, not the whole overarching thing. I have an active investigative warrant for the Lighthouse. We have authority to place cameras on that property, and we have for the last 20 days. I have 9 days remaining on that investigative warrant. But I'm the one who possesses that investigative warrant, and the goal of it was something a little bit different. And if people are going to abuse that investigative warrant for other means, then I will revoke that investigative warrant in a heartbeat, because it was to investigate a issue with this other organization that was causing problems before you acquired it. Now,
I got to think about something real quick.
Now, if it were me,
what is happening?
The mayor's office was threatening to take your property away from you, that's okay. I'll see you in court. Them saying rats come from your property is fucking nonsense. Unless they can prove you have some kind of fucking super lab underneath your house where you're manufacturing biological weapons and shit like that and implanting in the rats to release them to the general populace, that's the most absurd thing I've ever heard. There's literally, go on the back of the 24/7 on Clinton, there's rats all in the dumpsters and shit like that all the time. You go out to the fucking anywhere, literally anywhere in this whole fucking state, rats are everywhere. And the fact that they're trying to be like, well, we found rats here, that's a key sign, you have rats. There's rats in this whole fucking state. It's a rodent, it's a nuisance problem. And then people saying, well, if you keep finding dead rats, it's like, yeah, because we have a nuisance problem and people are hiring exterminators. And I'm sorry, but when rats die, they don't just disappear, they don't just evaporate into nothingness. They just die where they're at, and you're gonna find dead rats everywhere. That's literally how exterminators work.
So,
can we?
Obviously, your investigation is not looking at the, I guess, health concerns of the plague, quote unquote, whatnot, right?
No, this is from 19 days ago, so that should give you an idea of like how long ago this was before all this nonsense popped off.
Right. Is that like the rat thing? Is that what you guys are looking at most closely for the cause of all of this sickness?
Honestly, I've been a bit detached from it all, to be completely honest with you. I am more of a night shift lead, and this is such day shift bullshit. That I'm honestly quite a bit detached, and every time they try to key me into this stuff, they keep going on these long spiraling ideas of, well, this is what we assume, this is what we're thinking, and I'm like, that's dumb.
Okay, we got to be honest with her, Barrett. CJ,
I'm being pretty honest, I think.
We believe you're the shoemaker for the jump boots.
Shit,
how'd you find me out?
I told you I reached out to Ron Oil because they have international partners for trade and trade. Yeah. They said they were going to try to ship me in a legitimate shipment from a cargo ship.
Yeah.
Jump boots and things like that, because they were like, look, we can just ship this stuff in. It's not inherently illegal.
Damn, they leaked my name to you.
Yeah.
It's crazy of them.
Oh man.
But no, CJ, I'm sorry you have to go through all this nonsense. That's people getting really ahead of themselves and really making a whole bunch of assumptions without any backing. Sorry, do you need to take that?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just give me 1 second. Is this emergency? What's up? What's up? What's up? Okay. Fuck.
I need to pick up.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm getting chased.
Yeah, to be honest. I'll be back. Shit. Help. Okay, I'm on my way. I was in a meeting. I'm on my way. Shit.
All right.
You know I'm going to totally 311 right now that CJ's on her way to pick up whoever you're pursuing.
I mean, we don't know that for sure.
I mean, she did just say yeah.
Oh, someone could have to take a shit. But up to you.
I don't have enough effort. I'm off duty. They want me to care, pay me.
Here's the reason I brought it here is holy fuck telephone, right? You know what you know why I was busy? Frank Jr. Smith died. Do you know him?
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah.
What do I know that name from? I know that name.
He used to be in the Vagos. Then he was a part of the Italians. And then he hasn't really Frankie, yeah. And the PD was sitting outside the ICU waiting for people to visit him so they could issue a search warrant. Or sorry, serve warrants. Those warrants stem from a shootout that happened a day or two ago in which law enforcement allegedly were running over people until they shot back in defense.
Oh.
And what makes it worse is the inference originally was that Trevette, who went in there to serve a citation, was the cause of it. But the reality is there was two other officers who were outside the door just making it very obvious they were going to serve these warrants, which I am very against. And I thought we put a stop to it 3 months ago, which is the hospital, do not touch, wait till they leave, because otherwise you are putting in jeopardy all medical staff, opening up the potential for a shootout in there, putting, you know, people in various states of health at risk. And, you know, but the problem is it gets plagued with, I am not expecting every member of law enforcement to be honest about it, because we don't live in a state where corruption is frowned upon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're telling me it's encouraged. 90%, Nino, and that includes the police department.
Yep. So it's tough. Anyways, anything else we want to talk about?
I'm sure me and you can go round and round for hours. We're yappers. But I think you have a lot to think on, and I need to head out for a bit.
Yep. I would like to hear the CJ thing figured out, only because, especially if this is your like area of investigation or whatever, my concern is if she's being coerced into doing shit that puts her at risk. Is she gang affiliated? Obviously.
Yeah.
But you understand, I hope you understand the angle I'm coming from, right? Like, there's different ways to chop shit up. We should not be like threatening people with weird shit like that.
The whole rat plague, all that investigation, it's not my investigation. I passed that shit off onto Dark ages ago because he's the conspiracy nut job who will look at all the supernatural crazy.
I don't think he was
shit.
threatening CJ.
I don't think he was either, but I'm keeping separate so that I can monitor this stuff as a moderator.
Okay.
For exactly this kind of reason of people start getting ahead of themselves and start they start self-justifying waiving people's rights.
Yeah.
Well, this is for the greater good. If we don't, then we're all dead. But if you do, and we make it out alive, you now justified waiving people's rights, and that's just a tool you're going to keep in your back pocket to use over and over again because it worked once, and I was able to justify it. Now I just got to justify it again and again and again, and then just making those broad terms looser and looser.
Yep,
It's a dangerous
1,000%
spiral.
agreed. It really is. You know what it is? I think a lot of people just want to like cut to the ending.
Well, yeah, Nino, they want. I almost said it, Nino. I'm restraining.
Say it, bitch.
Yeah, because they want 5.0 to come out already.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Hey, I heard if you put Norman Bones into cuffs, he unlocks it. He's gonna unlock a portal. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's the closing scene. The whole city, the whole state just goes dark, fade to black,
Mm-hmm.
and we're here.
The credits are gonna
future.
roll. Oh my God. Anyways, all right, Barrett. I will. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, you let me out. I'm not clocked on duty, so
I got you.
if I clock on duty, people will just see that I'm in dispatch and will call me nonstop.
Oh my Lord.
And I needed to make today very short.
I was not expecting him to say that. Oh fuck.
I appreciate your time as always.
Anytime, brother.